It's quite rare that you have a showbiz news agenda quite like it's been this week.
I mean, twerking. I want more details, and I've asked people that were there.
How would Posh grind, though, to choral music if this was their romantic first dance?
This is all a big ploy to get the Spice Girls back together. It'll be absolutely extraordinary.
Cat among the pigeons, Roxy.
Why has no one looked at Rachel and gone, you're clearly quite clever. Why have you not been murdered?
Me with my bottle of wine, I think, is my winner, realistically.
Does that mean loads of Americans think Ant and Dec are actors and not real people?
If JLo wants to be a diva, she could be a diva.
She's earned her diva-ship.
This is Showbiz Fix, your destination for the inside scoop on all our celebrity exclusives and the biggest entertainment stories you're loving this week. We're slow-mo walking with our capes on into the Traitors finale, and the Brit Award nominations are out. But first, we have just got to talk about the biggest story this week, month, year, decade even. God, the Beckhams bust up.
Oh, it's been a bit dramatic, hasn't it?
Just a bit! Hal, you have very much been across this week. Where are we up to now?
Yeah, it's been very dramatic. There's been a lot going on. I feel a bit sort of shell-shocked by it all because it's quite rare that you have a showbiz news agenda quite like it's been this week. At this point, I think everyone is sort of still reeling. The Beckhams have maintained a sort of dignified silence. They're sort of keep calm and carry on. I think that's how they're going about it, you know. But I think behind closed doors, there's obviously complete devastation. I think there's actually a lot of concern for Brooklyn as well, because, you know, this move of putting out this 6-page statement on Instagram really is a line in the sand of saying, you know, there's no coming back from this, you know. And they are worried because, as we revealed in The Sun today, he did sign a prenup with Nicola before they got married, which means that if they split up, which is unlikely because they seem very happy. I'm not wishing that on them at all, obviously. But if they did split up, he would not be entitled to any of her family money. Mm-hmm. And, you know, although the Beckhams are pretty rich, the Peltzes are at least 5 times richer, you know?
Because some people have been saying, would Brooklyn have done this if he didn't have that financial backing? You know, this is a boy that's grown up with a lot of money, and, you know, he can do without his parents now because he's got the Peltz cash.
Exactly. But I guess the concern from the Beckham side is, say if anything did happen in the future, he's ostracized, you know, loads of the people who love him. Mm-hmm. And then he could be, you know, left high and dry in some ways. So I think that's the latest sort of concern. But also it's very interesting that he did update his profile picture on Instagram to the tattoo on the back of his neck of Nicola's eyes. And, you know, he does have a lot of tattoos dedicated to Nicola and even to her grandparents. But the eyes, I think, are very symbolic because it's like, I am watching you. Mm-hmm. She is watching you, and I'm seeing this through the lens of my wife. So I feel like that is, you know, a pointed move.
It's interesting that you say that the internet's at the heart of this, because we are such an unserious country. You know, much like with Wagatha Christie, we have all absolutely rushed straight to our computers and our phones and made fun of the situation. Let's face it. Kelly, what's happened meme watch?
I've been a bit worried about the country's economy because I think everyone's just been on the internet, like looking at it. My personal favourite has been the AI dancing Victorias. Oh, I don't know if you've seen them. She's in a silver dress. She's throwing her leg behind her head. I mean, everyone's been enjoying them. Even her son Cruz did like one where she was dancing to Genuine Pony and he gave it a little like. Obviously, it's not actually her dancing. It's been like created. I also like the ones where, if you remember that famous scene on the David Beckham documentary, where she was joking about how she went to school and David hung around the door and went, tell the truth, tell the truth. It's all like, did you really dance with your son at his wedding? Yes, had a few wines, did have a bit of a dance.
I just think it's just fueled us for days, hasn't it? But speaking of the dance, I think this is the thing that's really got everyone going, isn't it? So Brooklyn said that she hijacked their first dance and danced inappropriately, which is why this AI Posh is going for it.
Well, it's the fact that he said dance inappropriately on me. That, I think, on me is wild.
Hence the Genuine Pony.
I mean, twerking. I want more details. And I've asked people that were there and they seem a bit baffled about it. They said that yeah, they didn't really know what he was talking about.
So we're going to do a real quick fire here because Hal very much across this and the people need to know. I'm going to grill you now, Hal Davies. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What was the song?
So this is the thing. I think recollections may vary, right? Brooklyn says it's a romantic love song. The Vogue report that came out of the time said it was Only Fools Rush, which was performed choir. But it was the first dance I think that's being referred to was introduced by Mark Anthony. So we don't think it is that song.
Okay. What were these inappropriate moves?
So what we've been told is definitely there was some grinding. That is the word that has been used, that she grinded on him. And also elsewhere has said that there was some nuzzling involved. So I think it sounds quite fun and silly.
Were they actually inappropriate or is this just a pop star on a stage?
I think it's a mum at a wedding.
With a wine? I mean, Posh loves a white wine.
She must have had a couple of wines that day. She thought she was being fun. I think we see Victoria showing her silly side dancing on Instagram. I think it was probably that, but maybe tensions were high on their wedding day and it came across in a different way.
How would Posh grind, though, to choral music if this was their romantic first dance?
Do you want me to demonstrate? No. I guess that is the issue, is what is the song, you know, because Vogue has described in their original report after the wedding that there was an official father-daughter dance to Wind Beneath My Wings.
No grinding.
No grinding. But then also that there was a mother-son dance, which was to Mark Anthony's I Need to Know. So I think most likely that is quite an upbeat rhythmic song. I think most likely it was to that, which was, you know, at the time when Brooklyn and Nicola thought they were going to have their first dance.
Gotcha. Okay. So how long did this grinding go on for?
Well, that song is 3 minutes, 48 seconds. So I can't imagine she was grinding for the whole thing. But I guess there was, you know, some different moves in there. I'm not sure if, you know, there was a bit of twerking. No.
Stop right now.
I'm sure there must have been a Spice Girls dance routine at some point.
Okay, and were Brooklyn and Posh the only ones involved in this dance?
So definitely by Brooklyn's statement, it makes it sound like, yes, it was just those two because he did not mention anyone else. But the Vogue report at the time said that there was a dance that Brooklyn and Victoria were involved in, which David and Harper joined in towards the end.
And they were all grinding. No, they absolutely were not all grinding.
They absolutely were not. David has not been accused of any inappropriate dance moves as of yet.
Okay, I feel like we can all sleep tonight. Like you say, though, recollections may vary. The side that we've not heard from is David and Victoria. Kelly, does it sound like we're going to hear from them?
I mean, they are a well-oiled PR machine. Say nothing, you know, never complain, never explain. I just don't think they'll speak out. If they did, it'd be something very, we love our son, he's always welcome back into the fold. Because I don't think they'll want to fuel this. Like, they can't be enjoying being on the front of the paper every day, being, you know, Posh being mocked on the internet. So I think they'd probably hope this would be sorted sort of behind closed doors.
That's the thing. I think that we all, the nation, the world, feel a sort of involvement and ownership of the Beckhams because they've grown up in front of us. You know, do you remember when Brooklyn was born? It was like a royal baby. But I think all of us then think, oh God, this is a real family and there's real heartache here. And how would we all cope with this?
It's interesting as well, though, that in his statement, he said that a lot of what goes on in my family is for social media and it's performative. And really, I mean, that's kind of been shown since the statement came out, is because they have said, we are carrying on as normal. Yeah. They've been doing regular birthday posts as they usually do for Emma Bunton and their other friends. You know, they're all just back to doing their things. David Beckham's posted an Adidas advert campaign that he's done. And, you know, I feel like it's going to be what they do rather than what they say in how they move on. I really would not be surprised if, you know, they go and do something that distracts from what is going on. And, you know, we've got to remember it's the 30th year of Wannabe this year. There's been a lot of discussions about, are Spice Girls going to do anything? And most recently, a week ago, it seemed like probably not much. You know, it doesn't sound like there's any tour booked or anything. It sounds like, I think Mel C, Mel B and Emma were well up for it. And Jerry and Victoria were sort of hanging back, not really being, you know, making a decision. But now this would be the perfect opportunity. Come on, Victoria.
That group chat.
She did suggest last year that there could be a Vegas residency at the Sphere for the Spice Girls, which, you know, Backstreet Boys have just done one. It's been absolutely hugely successful. It would be so good for them. And there's proof that the fans want more music from Victoria, because just today, Not Such an Innocent Girl, her 2001 number 6 smash hit, has got to number 2 on the iTunes chart because of a campaign of people saying, we need to back our girl, VB, and support her. And I sort of love that. And she is not such an innocent girl. I'm sure she'll admit that now just as much as she did in 2001.
She never
Not when it comes to a
was.
wedding dance floor. Certainly not instant at all by the sounds of it.
Well, quite. This is what I mean. We are not a serious country. How do we react to our royal family, the Beckhams, imploding? Let's get Posh to number 1. But hey, look, stranger things have happened.
I mean, look, we can live in hope. If Kate Bush can get to number 1 40 years after she released Running Up That Hill, then come on, VB can do it.
Imagine if Brooklyn is the sort of catalyst of getting the Spice Girls actually back together.
I just think that the Spice Girls WhatsApp group, which in my mind exists. Hi girls, need a bit of a favour, probably now in for that reunion.
I mean, I think Nicola said before that she was a fan of the Spice Girls when she was younger. If this is all a big ploy to get the Spice Girls back together, it would be absolutely extraordinary. Get Netflix on the phone.
I'm sure there's some cynic somewhere that said that this is all a big publicity stunt to, promote something or whatever. With the memes, though, my two worlds collided this week in that there was a Traitors reference drawn into this Beckham saga, which was the cat among the pigeons, Roxy, which was, of course, Harriet's famous line at breakfast. Famous, I'm saying, famous to us Traitors fans. What was the point of this? Because the cat are very much among the pigeons, isn't it, in terms of the Beckhams? So I'm segueing into the Traitors now.
I see what you're doing. It was
if you hadn't
smooth.
noticed.
I get it.
Okay, so recap. The Traitors gave James the double vote dagger, and he was very much the pigeons in this scenario, and he completely blew it. It was wild, right?
I loved it. It was so funny.
I just think, I want the Traitors to win. They've played it so right. They literally sit there and went, we'll give him the dagger. They'll say this. Maddie will do this. Then he'll go. And that's exactly how it played out. They're so bad. They'll sit in the corner and go, do you think it could be Rachel and Stephen? They'll get to the round table like, no, definitely not. Definitely Maddie.
It does feel like there's some heat now on Rachel.
At the end of the episode, there was. But what I loved during the round table was that they were all discussing amongst themselves. Rachel and Stephen, for the most part, were just the only ones sat there not saying a thing. I was like, guilty much? Like, why is no one looking at them? But when Faraz said at the end of the episode, so surely about Rachel, I thought, wow, you have barely said 4 words for this entire series, and now you are coming through with the goods finally. But let's not forget that the bell has been rung before on Rachel.
Yeah.
Fiona said it. Who else said it? Harriet said it.
Yeah.
And no one batted an eyelid. So whether this actually makes a difference, who knows?
Well, for us, this big theory is that Fiona and Rachel, the two never really spoke. All of a sudden they did. And then they went at each other. So it must have been traitor on traitor. Then he said Harriet was our best faithful. And she was very adamant it was Rachel. And we've all just forgotten that. I have a theory, though, which is that last night it felt like Faraz entered the chat out of nowhere. And Jack, to a certain extent as well, all of a sudden piped up. Is this actually what's happening, or is it just the edit's so full that we just don't really hear from these characters until they have this sort of role to play?
Yeah, I mean, probably because at the beginning, how many were there? 22 or something?
Yeah.
There's so many people. And, the show is only an hour long. So you're like, wow, okay, how am I going to fit all these people in? And there's clearly some bigger personalities than others, isn't there? If people are really talking out at the round table, and, it'll be hard to when there's 22 different personalities around there, you're going to be heard more. But I really wouldn't be surprised if the reason why we feel like we haven't heard from people like Faraz is because they've been sitting back, observing. And sometimes that's how you cruise through to the final, because you're not raising any suspicions. You're not also angering anyone, and people don't see you as a threat because you're not targeting any of the traitors.
I think it's a skill to sit there and do nothing, though, because actually, if you look back at all of the finals across the series, there's a couple of people there that you're like, you just. So Meryl, we discussed this earlier. God love her, she was brilliant, but she didn't really add much. She just got there by being friends with everyone, and to a certain extent, that's a skill.
Molly did the same. She was friends with Harry. I mean, my question is, why has no one looked at Rachel and gone, you're clearly quite clever. Why have you not been murdered? Why are you still here? And what does Roxy think her position is? Because I think she thinks she's really good at it. But I'm like, you're not good at this game.
Roxy is pigeons as well.
Roxy is hilarious. But yeah, the thing I think about Rachel, which I think really was highlighted when Faraz approached the others and said her, was they were all like, oh no, it can't be. And clearly what the thing is that she's such good friends with all of them that none of them can bear the thought of her being a traitor. And that is the perfect thing about being a traitor. That's how they do it. Wilf did it in series 1. He was best friends with them. And the same with Harry, actually. You know, it was like, I can't possibly look at my friend because they're my best friend and they would never do this to me.
Yeah.
But obviously, that is the entire point of the show. So you'd think they'd have learnt it by series 4.
Well, Matty said in his exit chat overnight that basically he now realises that he was there with strategy and plans. And he said, what I really should have just done is made sure as soon as someone was suspicious of me, like James, just go all out to befriend them. And he said, I didn't even bother and I probably should have done. I mean, yeah, duh.
Stephen's been so good at that. I mean, Stephen's face is so red in every round table. Yeah, he's always like, oh, and they're all like, no, couldn't possibly be him. Look how well he dresses. Couldn't be a traitor.
I had a chat with Paul Gorton this week, who obviously is
a good
our
traitor.
chief villainous traitor in Harry's series. And he was all out strategy gameplay. And he actually said that now, reflecting, he probably should have just tried to be friends with everyone. But he said that Stephen has got what he called Alan Carr syndrome, because it's the same thing, like you say, so incredibly obvious, sort of visibly, but it's friends with everyone.
And also, I guess, like, he's been like that since the very start.
Yeah.
So people just think, oh, that's what he's like.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing that Paul and I spoke about, though, is whether there's just been too many twists this series. So certainly more than ever, we've had the dagger, we had the secret traitor, and back in Paul's series, it was basically just the poison chalice with Diane.
Yeah.
Well, what I do like, though, is that this year they haven't done the seer, because I thought that was really intense last time. And it felt like it spoiled it a little bit towards the end. So I'm glad that they haven't brought that back. I thought the dagger was a fun twist without it being too much of a mess up of the whole show, you know?
Yeah,
and I love the smoke and mirrors. I thought that was good because we saw a lot and it sort of rattled the traitors, but like it didn't really change anything.
Another thing that Paul said is actually he feels like if the new fans of the Traitors come back and watch his, it might actually look quite boring.
My nervous thing now is when people watch season 4 first, because obviously new people, millions of people are just getting into it. I've met loads of people that have said, I've only seen the celeb one and this one. And like when they go back and see ours, there's not really that many twists. You know, we poisoned Diane, that's about it. So
no, you delivered, don't worry.
Yeah, I hope so. I still think, even if you took me and let's say I wasn't even in season 2 and it was just Harry and Miles and Ash and Diane and Molly and Jazz and all these people, I still prefer season 2 to this season. There's almost like a purity of season 2 because, well, you know, we'd only ever had season 1, and season 1 was kind of like a pilot series to see if it worked. And then our series was the first one where we got to watch we got to watch footage of how it's played.
So it's the final Friday night. It's going to be a bumper 75 minutes. Hal, who's your winner?
Me with my bottle of wine, I think, is my winner, realistically. I think it's so hard to call, isn't it? I feel like there's heat on everyone. Who blimmin' knows at this point? Not Roxy. I hope. Sorry, Roxy, if you're watching. Maybe Stephen just for the outfits.
Rachel, my Northern Irish girl, just for like her sort of, she's been sort of steely and cool, and the way she took down Fiona. And to be honest, Harriet, I'm like, she's my winner. She's played an excellent game.
Rachel's definitely my winner. I think she's so clever. She's just played this to an absolute T. The way she reacts under pressure, she's rolled with the punches, and God, they've had some. So can't wait to be dissecting it all next week with you. Right, I want to hop over to Love Island now, which I think has really suffered. Obviously, there was the wildfires, and that wasn't their fault, but it just feels like no one's really watching, no one's really talking about it. And I don't know whether you've caught any of it, but it's just the boys arguing.
I have been watching. You know, I am a Love Island obsessive. I don't know what I don't like it. I think the problem is I don't really believe any of it. I don't really believe, as Scott's gone in to rile it up, you can tell. Sometimes I feel like there's a bit missing. Like, I'm like, why are they fighting? Where did that come from? And yeah, I really like Millie. She's been on the cover of Fabulous. I'm just a bit like, Get Millie out of there. Get her a nice footballer. Chloe Burrows must know someone that she could set her up with. She doesn't need to be doing this.
No. Do you think there's ever a world where an agent would like ring up ITV and just be like, get them out?
Wow. I mean, what, just because they're like, well, it's not really getting the viewing figures that we want, and she's not really getting that many followers off this. So.
Well, do you know, I say that because someone asked me on TikTok, like, would that ever happen? I was like, I pretty much think they're contracted to stay.
Yeah.
I think in Big Brother Day, certainly when it was on Channel 5, there were agents trying to get people out because felt they were ruining their careers.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were able. I think they were sort of like, no.
Yeah. One thing that did make me laugh for Love Island, though, is Blue, the boy band, made an appearance last night, very early for that kind of thing to happen, just saying. And American fans have only just realised they're a real band.
What do they think they were?
They just thought it was some sort of like weird twist that these were maybe bombshells or something.
No, it wasn't. I think what happened was Blue were in Love Actually. Is this correct?
Yes, they were.
And so lots of American fans, I think, had seen Love Actually when it came out in 2003 and thought that they were like characters in the show, in the film.
That's amazing.
And then obviously, 24 years later, they're watching Love Island and they're like, oh, wait, these guys are actually a real band and they've actually got songs.
Tangent. Does that mean loads of Americans think Ant and Dec are actors and not real people?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Probably.
We need to clarify this with the American audience.
And they think that the guy in Death in Paradise Beyond Paradise is Colin, God of Sex. That's a very niche reference. Hal, I want to tell you something that's happening on Love Island.
Okay.
Which is that there's more drama happening outside of the villa than in the villa. So basically an agent told me that they're looking after their clients' Instagram, and loads of other islanders have been popping up in the Instagram, liking old messages and things like that. So it's almost like they're trying to spark a story or spark some sort of like, look, ITV put me in as a bombshell.
It's like a smoke signal, isn't it?
Yeah, which makes me laugh so much. Now, I cannot disclose who said Islander is, but I'm going to tell you it's a boy that's busy in there. All of them.
What a tease.
I know. You both went to the same event this week.
We did.
The Brit Awards.
Did the Brit Awards nominations.
Yeah.
I mean, Brit Awards is one of my favourite nights of the year. And, I'm a pop music fan. And it was a good day for the girlies.
It really was. We had it at the Outer Net down in London. It was quite weird though, because this is going to be the first year ever Brits isn't in Manchester. So actually, they did the announcement live from Manchester, and then they had a little soiree in London. Now, it is January. It was dry. Dry as in there was no alcohol. I mean, there was lots of tea, but seriously, where's the wine?
Where's the show with Ash?
It's not very Brits-esque. I do not have a bit of alcohol.
No, but good for the girlies.
It was good for the girlies. So 70% of the acts who were nominated were females or female included acts. And it was Olivia Dean and Lola Young who were top of the bill, 5 nominations each. I really am predicting Olivia Dean will clean up. The last few years it's been very interesting because obviously in 2024 it was Ray who won loads, like completely swept the board, and then last year Charlie XCX did, and it seems like this year I think it's Olivia Dean's year, and she's also the first act confirmed to perform. So I'm very excited. And there was Lola Young, then there was noms obviously for the international artists like Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift to be expected, and actually great year for Lily Allen. She's not been nominated for Brit Awards for quite a while, and 3 nominations for her. I bet she's absolutely made up.
Yeah, all thanks to trashing David Harbour.
Yeah, exactly.
All the sweeter.
and there was actually, he's not the only guy who's come out of this badly, because really across the nominations, I was very surprised. There was no nominations at all for Ed Sheeran, no nominations at all for Tom Grennan, both people who've released albums in the past year who would be kind of Brits' darlings usually. And even Lewis Capaldi, I mean, he's released quite a few songs last year. He had 1 nomination. So I was quite surprised about that.
Ouch.
Yeah.
One party you went to, Kelly, that wasn't dry. Lorna Lux threw you a dinner.
She did. Well, not me. She didn't throw. She threw herself a dinner. Yeah, we had Lorna Lux, influencer OG. Someone in the office did ask me what OG meant this week. The original influencer on Instagram. Absolutely lovely. We had her in the cover of the influencer issue last week, and we had such an amazing reaction to it. People love her, and she loved it. I don't think we've ever had a cover star who was so happy to be on the cover.
Aww.
So she threw a dinner with fabulous branded menus. We got her a giant frame. I brought her some mags because it was the night before they came out and we get them a bit early. and she was going around a hotel giving them out to people. She was really cute and really, like, she is my new favourite person, top of my celebrity list.
We always say, don't we, like when there's a celebrity that actually just loves who they are and their position in the world and stuff, and not moaning about it, it's really lovely.
It's so nice. And
Awesome.
she is going to be, I mean, she is massive, but on a mainstream. I had 2 very senior managers being like, I want to look after her. Can you tell her to get in touch with me?
Ooh, that's the tea.
Yeah, she's really great. Really, if you don't follow her, Lorna Lux, she has just had a really interesting backstory, really nice, northern, good crack. Most exciting thing from the shoot is never had a prep before. Was absolutely blown away by Pret. Had a tuna baguette, blew her mind.
I mean, they are great. I've got a friend that had never been to Nando's before.
What are people doing?
Well, our boss, Clemmy Moody, had never been to McDonald's since we took her to one at a Christmas party a couple of years ago, and she couldn't work out how to use the machine. And I thought, what weird world have you been living in?
And she took Simon Cowell in return. He'd never been either.
She said that if she got home drunk from a night out, she would order a full Indian takeaway. I thought, what time are you going to sleep? It takes about bloody 2 hours to arrive, doesn't
Yeah, it does. Oh my God, no. Blimey. Right. What are we binning and binging this week? Kelly, let's go with you first.
Binging. Na-na-na. The Apprentice. It's back next Tuesday, but Karen Brady, fabulous columnist, Lord Sugar's right-hand woman, is on the cover. Look how fit she looks.
She looks insane.
She looks so good.
I thought, I've not got my contact lenses in. I thought that was Lorna Lux.
No.
She looks
This
amazing.
is Karen Brady, 57, looking incredible. So we get all the gossip. She's had a bit of a glow up, so she talks about that. But actually, in fairness, she's like, we don't have to talk about my appearance. We can talk about my brain, because she's a pretty successful businesswoman.
Yeah.
And sometimes that gets overlooked.
I love that. Okay, binning.
I am binning people complaining about spoilers. I'm sorry, particularly around, I know it's been bad around the Traitors, because obviously we're watching it, it's event TV. But if you have not watched last Wednesday's, I'm sorry, your moment's gone. Someone had a go at me the other day for spoiling the OC. It came out in 2003. Like, it's just gone back on Amazon Prime, so that's why people are watching it. But if you missed it first time around, you've had 20 years. I'm sorry, spoilers right there.
I'm really hardline even on last night's The Traitors, because I'm like, if you care as much about it that you care about spoilers, it's on at 8 p.m. It's not even like it's on late. Watch it or get up early, or accept the fact that you cannot go near the internet.
Just don't go on social media.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Love that one. How?
Okay, I am binging the Arctic Monkeys' new song. It's been like a while since we heard from them, and they've just today dropped this song opening night, which is great. And also, it's for a very good cause. So back in 1995, cast your minds back. Obviously, I don't remember it because I was only born in 2019. But, there was the Help album for War Child, and they've just announced that they are doing Help 2, which has loads of artists on it. It's actually a completely insane lineup. Olivia Rodrigo, Arctic Monkeys, Damon Albarn, Last in a Party, Wet Leg. Like, really every name in sort of indie music and rock and roll is great. So that's really fun. I am binging that big time.
I love it, but binning?
Look, you know, last week I was on here and I was waxing lyrical about how much I love Harry Styles. I do love Harry Styles. What I can't deal with is teasers for teasers of teasers, a teaser of a teaser for a teaser of a teaser. And the past week, it's just been like, oh, there's a billboard and it hints that there's going to be something at this time. And it was like, you know, the announcement of the album. Okay, fine. And then this week there was on I think it was Tuesday, it was, oh, there's a clock on the website and it's counting down. We think it might be 5 p.m. GMT. And it was to the announcement of a single. I was like, I can't be dealing with counting down to an announcement of a single. I need the actual single. And then today he's done the same thing, all these teasers, and it's to announce the tour. I'm like, yeah, great. Love the tour, really excited. But then we still have to wait for that as well. I'm like, can we just announce something in one go? Can we not tease it too much?
What were people queuing for as well this week? I saw loads of people queuing.
So that was on Wednesday evening. People could have an early listen of Aperture, which is the single, out tomorrow morning. But you could only listen to it if you queued up and listened to it on a record store or headphones. So quite good that he's getting people in record stores, but they couldn't buy the song because it's not out till Friday anyway. So there we go. I just can't really be dealing with the teasers, basically.
No more teasers.
What about you, Flick?
So this is going to sound quite boring of me, but did you see all the drama around JLo's glam-bot? So glam-bot's a thing which hasn't quite reached the UK yet, but big in America, where this swooping camera comes in and they sort of go like this with their skirt, and it's like, JLo is a business lady. She walks up, hits her spot, does her thing, and then goes. And there's this guy called Cole that's in charge of the glam-bot. And she didn't say anything to Cole, it sounded like. And so everyone was calling her rude, a diva, and all of this kind of thing. And he went online and then said, honestly, I did not get that from her at all. Like, she's a professional. Sorry if it looked rude, but I can tell you she's not rude. I can tell you the rude people, but I won't. My point is, we've all been on red carpets and we know what it's like for these celebrities, even at like the TV Choice Awards. It's like, Kelly, how? And they're dragged from pillar to post. And what I believe happened is it was all closing. So she was just business lady.
Just like, get that glam-bot done.
Yeah. And I think sometimes we're really quick to jump on these things. Also, if JLo wants to be a diva, she can be a diva.
She's earned her divaship.
Exactly. So I'm binning that. A bit of a boring one. I'm being woke here and just saying, let's leave her alone. She's just doing her job.
You know, my thoughts on JLo, absolutely adore her. She can do no wrong. So I absolutely agree. And also, red carpets are stressful.
They are stressful.
And you can't be saying hello and thank you to everyone. And all these people on the internet claiming that they do the same. Absolutely not. No, you do not. You do not say thank you to every single person you ever meet in the street.
Especially if you had that opportunity for that money shot. Like, if I was ever in front of a glam-bot, I'd be like, this is the most stressful thing that's ever happened to me. I would practice it 10 times. It would be a nightmare. So
it's also very overstimulating being on a red carpet, having
Yeah.
that many people around you. Like,
exactly.
cut her a break.
Let's leave her alone. And then I am binging. I'm going to sound mean here, but all of the newly released texts in the Taylor Swift, Blake Lively court case situation.
Oh, I quite like them.
I just think the story just continues to just give. And the thing that I like about it is that even though there's very serious claims at the heart of it, all of our friends are like, can you imagine if our text got leaked? It would just be like, people would laugh so much at us because it's literally like, what are you having for your dinner? What are you wearing on Saturday night? But at least they've got interesting things to say.
I'm quite surprised that Taylor Swift was committing those conversations to text message, though. I feel like if I was a celebrity of that caliber, I would be like, no trace, do not write anything down, you know? At this point, maybe she is now after these have come out.
I've started calling people again. I'm like, I don't want to write this down or do a voice note. Having heard recently that someone plays voice notes out loud, I'm not giving anybody anything that can be played against me in a court of law.
What are you talking about?
You don't want to know. On my Beckham tea.
Well, on that morsel, that's your Showbiz Fix for this week. Remember to subscribe to us here on the Sun Showbiz YouTube channel for all the inside TV and celebrity gossip. See you next week.